outside the entrance to the vault. It's a ways east of New Vegas, in an inhospitable spot in the hills. There's a truckload of atomic waste parked right in front. The only thing that dares to come near are the geckos. They won't be a problem, though. The Enclave had access to pre-war records and communication systems. They tricked the people who still lived there into opening a big metal door that had been sealed shut since before the Chosen One was born. The followers are still very accepting of outsiders, though. People who value education and are willing to use their knowledge to ease the suffering of the world are always welcomed. There's even an individual among them who's descended from the surviving members of the Enclave, and it seems he uses the followers as a path to redemption for the sins of his father. That's a long road to walk, and a precarious position for a man to be in, torn between loyalty to a monstrous lineage and an idealistic quest for absolution. The followers are doing their best to carry the fire of humanity with them as they aid the most unfortunate people in a world of suffering. They prove that what a person does is more important than what they believe. Very few of the followers could think that they're heading to a place of everlasting peace after they die. Like most folk in the wasteland, all they're hoping for is a quick death and the satisfaction of knowing they made the world slightly less horrific. I grew up in Redding, little mining town just south of Modoc, which means it was square in the middle of nowhere. Back in '42, some fella came to town. Could tell he was a tribal, even though he wore a Vault-Tec jumpsuit. Said he was a chosen one among his people, and that he sought the Holy Geck. He helped out around our town, anytime someone had dirty work and a few caps to spare. I told him about my problems, hoping the big damned hero would save the day for me like in the comic books.
My dad's a miner. His name is Melchior, just like mine. He went away with some men dressed in metal clothes. I hope Dad comes back soon. I miss his magic tricks.
Damn. Sorry, Junior. I guess even the Chosen One couldn't rescue everyone.
Oh, that Chosen One found my pa, all right. Found him and killed him on the spot. Then he came back to Redding and didn't have the nerve to look me in the eye and tell me he'd done it.
Can't be the same Chosen One.
When I grew up, I followed in the Chosen One's steps. Learned where the Enclave took my pa and the other miners, and saw the Chosen One's handiwork for myself. But that's a story for another day. They had stockpiled enough ordnance to level a town several times over. And anyone dumb enough to set foot in it for the next 50 years.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit!
Let's go sunning, it's so good for you. Let's go sunning, neath the sky of blue. Greet the sun every morn. Feel as free and happy as the day you were born. Let's go native, sun your cares away, be creative.
Vault 108 is still out there. It's filled with a pack of interchangeable lunatics calling out the one word they all know how to speak. Their own name. Larry. No, wait. I think it was Harry. Barry?
Gary?
Yep, that was it. Come on, Edna. We got a big wasteland to explore.
Gary? Gary. Gary. Gary! 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 Gary!
This station was off the air for 200 years before I found the place. Most of this equipment rolled off the assembly line back when Dean Domino was still an up-and-coming crooner. I didn't do it all by myself, though. I got a good engineer, Margaret. Well, she's waving now. She doesn't like coming on the air. and I made sure that those technophiles in the Brotherhood of Steel owed me some favors. They helped keep the signal flowing and keep the Frankensteins from overrunning the place. Ooh!
You want to tell this part? Because it sounds like you think you know Brotherhood history better than me.
All right, let's hear your propaganda.
Most folk didn't want to trek all the way down to the glow. The ones that did found the place full of more rads than a body can handle. So no one ever actually completed this little quixotic endeavor.
Until the Vault Dweller showed up carrying a load of shiny pre-war toys. And you nerds couldn't resist. Must have been like Maxon's birthday.
Something like that. The gadgets that the Vault Dweller found deep within the glow were impressive, but the real treasure was information. A holotape that helped the Brotherhood learn the fate of a lost expedition that never returned from the glow, of men who broke away from the Founder's Column in 2077 to seek lost technologies and recover them for the benefit of all. Despite what they teach you in the NCR, the Brotherhood does value human life. That's why we keep our technology out of the hands of every yahoo that wants to play dress-up in shiny suit of armor, or go looking for a solar-powered death ray. In the old days, they dug their iron from deep within the earth, refined it into steel in huge mills unlike anything still standing in New California, and used it to make the steel girders that held up the old world. Today, there's only one place that can still do that. It's hard labor, and the people who do it aren't exactly there for the satisfaction of an honest day's.
Help me!
But that is a story for another day. Even though he was outnumbered, Clark took his revenge. He had spent his life surviving in the wild, not cooped upside a vault that provided everything he needed at the touch of a button. For 11 months, he killed them before they fled in early 2097, leaving him alone once more in his empty Garden of Eden. Well, not entirely alone. One of the women from Vault 22 remained behind, and she soon became Clark's second wife. She would have made him a father for the second time, too, but a complication in her pregnancy only made him a widower twice over. That would be his last face-to-face contact with other people. The park drew more visitors as Clark's beard began to turn gray. Most were unsuitable as companions, and Zion's guardian eradicated them. After decades of tending Zion, he knew his life was drawing to a close, so he found a spot high above Zion where his children wouldn't discover him, and allowed age, disease, and the elements grant him the death he could never inflict on himself. He's rested here for over a century, his last journal entry with him. Too modest a man to take credit for his good deeds while he was still alive, but he hoped that someone would learn the tale someday. What? Oh, you don't want to know what those savages from Vault 22 did to those other settlers. Like I said, it was an atrocity, and Mr. Clark avenged it.